The dream of the future you see dissolves, and with time, so does the apprehension. The world under sun is no exception, and all you see around you evolves. New traits and things familiar can be sensed, but futile is hope without fruition. The grief you knew begets no vision. The happiness you felt becomes regret. Winter fades and takes its cold and storm. Spring revives the world with love and warmth, but still the law, all things decay and age. Vanity itself won't dry your tears, and so you fear as your time draws near. The world will turn, but never change.
Hello there, everyone. Welcome to a new Let's Play with me, your host, Tim. And today, we're going to start playing through the Void together. There's some prep here that you can skip by adjusting the slider up here on YouTube to the appropriately segmented spot, in case you don't want to hear me prattle on about what type of game the Void is, how far I've gotten it, assuming I've played it before, which I will show you by loading a save game this time around, and any special house rules or Timisms I will be doing as we play this game together. You should also know, and before we cover any of that I am playing a modded version of this game. I have downloaded something called the Medium Difficulty Patch, which has lowered the difficulty slightly from what it is originally. Anyway, if you don't care about anything else, by all means, please skip ahead, and I'll see you inside the game when we start the game's tutorial, which will probably encompass this video. Otherwise, let's talk about the Void for a bit. Take 30. The Void is a first-person combat and resource management game, although it has a heavy emphasis on the second part rather than the first. But acquiring the resources and managing them is no easy feat at all, and you can quickly end up in a situation where you are starving and dying because you lack the needed resources to exist within this world. On that note, the world we will find ourselves in is extraordinarily odd. It doesn't have the same rules as ours, and it won't be similar to playing like Pathologic or another first-person game. You'll see when we get started, but it's a very weird place. I have a bunch of guesses to make about what's going on, but I will wait to make these guesses until we have reached day 10, or cycle 10 together, at which point you will have seen a good amount and can probably make some guesses on your own as to what is happening. On that note, I have made it to cycle 14 at the 90, and the day was just about to begin. I wanted to load this game to show you what my map looked like, but if I do that, it would ruin several things for several people who have probably never seen this game before, and I don't want to do that. But this is as far as I got in the game. I am under the impression that if you do things in the standard way of playing, which is what I am doing, then they should play out the same. And you should know that I am doing things the standard way. On my cycle 14th, on this save spot, which as you can see by the way, I played last on November 4th of last year. And today is, I think, what day is today? It's the 9th, February 9th of 2023. I did not eliminate anyone. I did not side with anyone. If you've played the game, hopefully that hint is enough to tell you what state my world is in currently. Now, the things about this game and house rules. So this is a very artistic game. And some of the choices that were made, I believe, were done for very artistic reasons. And I really like what they've done with the world that we'll find ourselves in and how things are shown and explained to us. But you should know that there are some naked girls in this game. They're not completely naked, you won't see everything, but you're gonna see a lot. So, if you watch this with your kids, and you don't want them seeing some really curvy ladies, you might not want to let them watch this with you. It's not pornographic, this is not an adult visual novel, or anything of that sort. There's not gonna be nothing like that in here. There's no lewd faces or stuff like that. But when you work with the girls, they sometimes do a little animation. It's not... Most of the time, there's nothing sensual or sexual about it. But there's one girl who does do things she shouldn't do on camera. Or rather, she can do them. It's not lewd, but she... Well, we'll see her, and you'll be able to tell. I'm gonna guess that this is acceptable for YouTube, because there's nothing pornographic about it, and this is art. And I think it will be fine. Now that said, if any of these videos gets a strike on it, or I break some sort of community guidelines, that's it. Series stops right then and there. And, well, hopefully that doesn't happen, because I really like this game, and I really want to show it off with you guys. There, to my knowledge, is no reading to be done, in so much that there's no papers or text to pick up. But there will be a great amount of dialogue, and I have subtitles turned on. As such, since there is an incredible amount of dialogue, and it's all spoken as well, it's all voice acted to my recollection, I will go ahead and speak with you guys at the same, for most of this game, especially trying to explain what's going through my head and what I'm worrying about. So, I hope you guys don't mind listening to me speak, because there will be a good amount of it. On that note, I think my voice is coming out well with the game, but my intention is to upload the first of these somewhat soon, but then you won't see a second one of these for this game, probably until March, once Starcom Nexus is completed, and then we'll focus on this game as one to replace that one. At least that's my current intention. But if you guys don't like the light level or the volumes, please tell me. I think they're okay. I will also wait to record the third part until the second part goes up. In this way, if there is an issue with the audio, we can address it right then and there. I am re-recording 14 videos for this game because I had audio issues upon watching some of those videos. It was really awkward. Anyway, I think that's about it. I won't talk over any of the conversations if I can help it, although there's some whispering that will happen or some hints of what's going on, which I won't feel obligated to not speak over. We'll hear them on repeat occasionally. And I won't talk over cutscenes. And now that I'm done with, I think, the introduction, I'm going to go check on my own voice, and assuming things are okay, we'll be back to hit new game. So give me 1 second. Alright everyone, we're almost set. There's just 2 more things to mention. I always forget some things. Number 1, I remembered when I first hit new game a few seconds ago that I am accidentally exploiting something with the game, and I don't have a way around it. When I record this game using fraps, the game's going to let me move a little faster than I normally would if I wasn't using fraps to record. I do not know why the game does this, but it does do it. I can't seem to disable it, and I'm not confident enough to use OBS Studio to record the game. We're going to use fraps. If I use OBS, I'm going to run into issues. That's always the case for games when I play them full screen and try to use OBS. So keep that in mind as you watch. It's not my intention to move faster than the game would normally allow me, but it will make for a more enjoyable watching experience since I won't be trudging along so slowly. Next, I won't speak to you guys until after the first meeting with our very first encounter in the game. This happens right away. but you should expect me to be completely silent until after it is done, and then I will try to explain what is being explained to us, since I was greatly confused the first handful of times I was trying to understand the game. Okay, and now we're set to hit new game. Let's go ahead and start.
Death took your last heart. Recover it before life leaves you completely. You only have a few moments left before your soul dies forever. Take the heart. It's easy. Good. I know that hurt, but there's no other way. Now you can hold color in your heart. Come closer. Do you see the great tree? I'm here inside. This is a desert on the threshold of death. I think it's somewhere underground, but not deep. And around it, emptiness. You see how cold and still it is here, how desolate. But this is not yet your death. That awaits below, in the cold, when the last drop of color leaves your soul. We call it absolute death. Remember this always. Here in the void, nothing is more precious than color. Color is life. It is our food, our strength, our hope. It is the essence and meaning of our suffering. And now yours. Look, what you take is on the right. It's your memory. Lympha of color is kept in it. What you can give is on the left, your palate. The color that sprouted inside you into forbidden nerva. To tame color, you must transform it through a beating heart. A spirit must fill his hearts with collected color to support life within himself. As time passes in the void, color will grow into nerva and flow into your palate. You can use this color to touch the world around you, because here it is color that gives life. Take some color from your memory, some lympha, and fill your heart with it. Good.
Take a look around this chamber and collect what you can. And please listen to my advice, or your soul will soon be dead forever. Go now. Don't worry, I'll always be here. Do you see the golden flowers? Collect what you can in this chamber. My island is small, but you must hurry.
Alright, everyone. Let's talk a little bit about what she showed us. When we take color...
Yes, that's right. But it isn't enough. You need more.
Oh, I'm not allowed to bring up my form yet. When we take color, it will be added to our lympha. The hearts we saw on the right-hand side of the screen.
I will bring you.
We cannot use that color for anything else other than to convert it in our hearts into nerva, which is the containers on the left-hand side of our body screen. This requires us to put color into a heart that we have inside of us, and then, over time, in the void, which is where we are not currently located, we are in a chamber, it will be converted into nerva. We want every single flower that is inside this chamber. We do not want to leave even a single one here. There is no reason, unless we cannot actually collect the color, because our lympha is filled. You have a certain number of containers on your right and left-hand sides of the screen. There is a limit to the amount of every color that you can collect. But that number increases as you find more hearts.
Now fill your heart fully. It is time to enter the void, where your color will begin to dissipate.
Okay. The woman here had us fill one of our hearts with azure color, but that was only for the tutorial. I was greatly confused the first few times playing as to where all my azure went. That's just showing you how you interact with the lympha over here. We go over a color, and we hold down the left mouse button to fill our brush effectively with it. We don't have to take all of it. You can take less than all of it, but at this point in the game, we might as well take all of it. And we place it into a heart. This heart has two things with it that we need to understand. It has a symbol there. It looks like the breast cancer awareness symbol, only it's gold, not pink in color. And there's a number underneath it as well. The number is how much color this heart can hold. Leftover color that you put into your brush will be refunded back into your lympha over here. The symbol is something we will explain later, but I guess I can quickly say it is the spell that this heart allows you to cast.
Good. Now wade into the water to enter the void. Look at your new body.
We want every single flower first, which means we're going to go back up here and collect that one flower near where we started from. When you are in these chambers, you do not suffer any falling damage. You can jump from a great height if you so wish, and nothing will happen. If you fall out into nothingness, you will end up in the void. If you wade out through water, you will end up in the void. And some chambers will have an exit, which will look like a spinning type of portal. And going through that will also put you out into the void. It looks like we have 2 more flowers to collect. If you try to take more color than your lympha can hold, you will instead deposit it on the ground. The color, I believe, when it's on the ground, taken from a source that you can't collect, I think it will expire. So be careful not to do that. That was all the flowers I've seen. Let's go ahead and wade into the water and enter the void for the first time. Famine. A man loses his soul only when it dies from a long hunger. A hungry soul falls into the icy emptiness where death awaits. But once in 1,000 times, before disappearing forever, the soul briefly lingers in the void. One can only get his soul back if it opens to color, accepts it, and understands its meaning and purpose. Then the soul will be able to turn death back, and the gates of hell shall not prevail against it. There are different chapters in this game, and this is the indication that we are starting one. Famine is chapter 1.
We call this place the Void. Hunger rules here, unbearable hunger. Color used to be plentiful here, but it turned its back on us. Sisters died, compelling our raging brothers to beg the Void for forgiveness. As long as you're here, you will have to fight to survive. See these wheels? Inside each chamber, time stands still, but not here in the Void. Color turns into nerva inside your hearts. Your life leaves as the color leaves. When your hearts are empty, you will die. Take care. Now you are here, by my chamber. To travel to other chambers, use color to mark your path, like this. Try it. Make a path with color and enter the chamber when you arrive.
In the void, time is only paused when you wish to spend nerva, and when you are here, looking at your body. Otherwise, time is ticking. You need time to tick by to convert the color in your heart into nerva that you can spend. But your heart represents your life. If it reaches 0, you are dead. So you need to manage the color that you possess, how much of it is in your heart to convert it to color, while at the same time being aware that the lower your hearts are, the more risk you are of dying. Furthermore, color that if we put 75 color here, let's say this heart had 80 color of 100 in it, this color would be wasted if this heart fills up, being spent into the void without any benefit. So you want to try to manage taking a limited amount or what you think you can hold, converting what you need into nerva without running over that limit, and yet also trying to keep yourself alive. There's a few other things to talk about, but we'll speak about them when the girl we have met explains things a little more to us. We don't have to draw a path, by the way, down the path she showed us. And this is going to be odd, but we'll draw a path once, and then I'll show you a little trick about drawing paths later. We're going to start by drawing a path, and we're going to go out into, I think, this place to start. Actually, no. This one. We'll explain the colored sparks we're seeing a little bit later.
This is a reservation. Predators used to dwell here. They're half-dead creatures, neither living nor dead. I think they appeared when random drops of color merged with inanimate matter. But since the famine came, only the plants are left. Collect all the color that hasn't dissipated yet, then return to the void.
The different colors do different things for you. We'll speak more about that later, since it's yet another aspect of color that you're using and holding on to when it's placed into your hearts. At this point in the game, since it hasn't been explained to me, I will not utilize this knowledge until it is. We could actually just hover over the colors, in which case it will explain things to us. But I'll wait until at least the next video to actually do things a little more properly, as it were. But you will see that there seems to be two colors here. We're collecting what looks like gold, and it seems to be very plentiful. There's green, and it looks like a tiny sliver of silver. You can see that we are getting very close to filling up on the amount of gold we are allowed to collect, as we are at 76 of 100 at the moment. While we were traveling from the ladies' chamber to this reservation, it looks like we spent a total of about 8. I can do math. 8 gold. Why don't we slot a little more? For the first 2 videos in the game, I will also not cut any bit of it. But there is an aspect of it that I would probably ask if you would mind if I do cut. Later on,
I will give you the power to control time. No one will protect you better than I.
Later on, I will be spending a great amount of time agonizing over what color to have in my hearts. This could take 5 minutes easily, or more, and the only thing you would see me do, or you'd hear me speak about my concerns...
Don't fear death. There is no death in the void.
And you would see me draw color into my hearts and move it around a bit. I think this is a bit too boring, and so I will cut that aspect of the videos, or I'm intending to. And I will just come back when I've made up my mind as to what it is we are going to do moving forward. This is an exit portal. If we walk through this, we'll be back in the void. A very surreal place is this. We can probably take a guess.
I so very much wanted to ascend.
That things fed on color, as opposed to, say, us in this strange world. But who created these? Why do they look the way they do? It sounds like this place was designed to hold creatures of some sort, and now they've all vanished. It looks like that's all the color. Nope. One.
I don't hear anyone anymore. Has anyone else survived?
Oh. No. Wait, is this color? It is not color. And yes, if you've played this game before, I know. But we'll come back here. We haven't been instructed yet as to what to do. I feel it would be breaking the rules that I've already set for myself if I was to do the things I should do here.
You must feed yourself with color constantly. Take all you can find without pity. But I despair. Where will you find it? There are mere drops in my chambers and they dissipate as we speak. Quickly, collect what you can and never forget that time is killing you. Time is taking your color. Time is your real foe.
In all resource management games I have played that involve a real-time aspect to it, time is by far one of the most important ones. It's very important in this game that you manage your time properly, because you're never going to get a single point of this time back. This number up here, by the way, the 91, ticks down to indicate we are nearing the end of the first cycle. The cycle is the number of the day that we are currently on. Now, I said I was going to show you a trick, and I'm going to show you it here. We were shown that we have to draw a path to get to a chamber, but you actually don't have to spend it with color. We could put gold into our brush and draw a line here, for example, to go back to this chamber. But we could also draw with nothing. Click an empty container over here in your Nerva. You will move very slowly if you do this, though. The amount of color that you use in order to travel from place to place also determines how fast you move along those passages.
Chambers like these are gardens. You can grow color here by yourself. Any color, and as much as you want. Approach a tree and touch it with a drop of color.
Well, let's do that. Now, a tip. Do not do what the game just showed you. And for that matter, when I first interacted with the girl, I also did what the game asked me to do, but I shouldn't have. You do not have to touch the tree with any more than a single drop of color. You don't need any more than that.
A heart grants you the knowledge to handle color. Color doesn't like to be wasted. Your first and most important heart is the donor glyph. This is forbidden knowledge and punishable by death. It is the ability to give, to rip color out of yourself and turn the dead into the living. Revive the tree, and remember Remember, the more you give, the more the tree will give back to you.
Time is not paused in... Time, the time that ticks down and drains your hearts, is paused when you're in a chamber. But while you're here, there could be things here looking for you. And time is not paused while we are here interacting with this tree. If there were hostiles here, this is a dangerous thing to do if you're not sure where they're located. We don't have to use the color that we touch the tree with. We can change our minds and choose a different color. But I think we'll go ahead and use gold to show you something else. We have 50 gold currently in this container for our Nerva. Let's go ahead and spend all of it on this tree. Down here, it's showing me what I can do to interact with this tree.
There are many trees here, but you have little color. Return to the void, and I will tell you more.
We gave 50 color to the tree. But note that I have 10 color here. Trees have a maximum amount of color that they can hold. If you go over that number, you will be refunded whatever color they could not hold. It does not go to waste. Always try, as she had said, give as much as you can to a tree, and you will get back more in return. But we can't get any back from the tree now. We have to wait until cycle 2 begins, and then the tree will be able to give us color back.
No one will protect you better than I.
We should still walk around and collect all the color that we see here. Let's make sure we get every bit of it. And although this place is called a garden, it looks like more like a grave to me. It is extraordinarily dead. If you like what you've seen so far, and you think you might want to pick up the game, then I would highly recommend that you immediately stop watching.
I will bring you luck.
And go and pick it up and play it. It's a really amazing world, and how things are revealed would be absolutely ruined if you continue to watch this playthrough. Before we leave, I want to take a look at what we have in our Nerva here. We don't have 40 color in any of these containers. I would feel it's a waste to spend this color here then. So let's go back to the void, as the girl had suggested.
There's one chamber left. Hurry. Danger is close. I can feel it.
Okay, let's go over to this location. We've seen now a garden. This one's called Fog. A reservation called Fireflies. And Pharynx, a mine.
You open inside yourself, the more color you'll be able to transform and the stronger you'll be. And each heart will grant you the gift of a glyph, its thought. fact that the limit of a soul is 20 hearts. Perhaps such a powerful soul could even stand up to the brothers. For now, there is a heart in this chamber, I'm sure of it. Some are easy to find like that, some are not. Search for it, my sweet.
I've never heard that term of endearment before she said it. She has a very beautiful voice to say that. Looks like there's even more green color here. And she's said that there is another heart here. This is going to be rather weird, but we will be acquiring multiple hearts, and each heart can hold a different amount of color in it, and each heart, as she's said, also grants a different glyph. From my playing through as far as I did several times, not up to day 14, but up to day like 7 or 8 multiple times, I can say that the glyphs you get from the hearts, in some cases, are randomized. Or rather, the hearts themselves are randomized, so you may not get the same heart on a different playthrough. On that note as well, the color, which is appearing for me here, is different than the color that was here the very first time I had done this area of the game, or the other times I have been here. Certain colors tend to grow, and in the beginning of the game, we will get gold and green in particular. We are also picking up a small fragment of silver. The first time I played, there was amber here as well, which is an amazing color to get very early on in the game. All the colors are useful, for reasons that we haven't been told yet. I should cover a few more things, but we'll wait until we see what she has to say after we take this heart.
Shell. This glyph charges the air with color and creates a protective shell around its creator. While the shell is present, the surrounding air becomes dense, making it impossible to draw other glyphs. Increasing the amount of color used in the glyph lengthens the duration of the shield.
Shell makes us invulnerable, to my knowledge, to all damage. It lasts for a length of time depending upon how much color you put into the shield. You will not be allowed to cast other spells while the shield is active, and it looks like there's something else here. We'll get a chance to see what that is later. Actually, we'll take a peek at it from up above as we collect more flowers. Instinctively, even my very first time playing, I was very afraid of that. We had been alone, and now we're not. There's a Easter egg here, a secret. We will go ahead and take a peek at it later. There's no color in it, and there's no hearts in it, but it would be fun to look at it. We'll do it a few videos from now. Let's go ahead and leave this place. We can leave either by taking the portal up there, or we can just throw ourselves off the cliff here.
Now come back to my chamber. I have more to tell you.
Okay, well, let's do so. that she's acting very scared had made me think that things are hunting her, or she's doing something she shouldn't be doing, and is very nervous about being discovered. Right, so to interact with her, just like a tree, we have to give her a drop of color. A little more than nothing, though.
I didn't warn you about the most important thing. Time, cold, and hunger aren't the most dangerous threats here. Listen, I'm hoping the brothers left this place forever. But if they ever return and find you, you'll be thrown into the nightmare. If they understand who you really are, there'll be no mercy. They're brutal, but blind. We could trick them together. If you collect the color in my chambers, grow a garden and feed me, they'll decide that you're a new brother, the one that I was destined to. Then they'll accept you as their apprentice and give you some color so you won't die of hunger. And then we would see what we could do. Start by growing a garden. This is your best life source. Fill as many trees as possible to the tips of the branches and collect your first harvest. Then my heart will be at ease.
All right, we have our first objective. We completed our first quest. The guardians of this place may return at any moment. You need to prepare for this occasion and disguise as one of them. First of all, you'll need to grow a garden with enough color to support your life. Something wicked will happen soon. You need to visit all the chambers in your sister's greenhouse and collect color while it hasn't evaporated. Alright, so we don't have enough color in my hearts, though, to really over here in my Nerva to effectively grow more than one more gold tree. And we can't even take all the color out of this heart and store it here again. Oh, actually we can! Oh, and I made a big mistake. We picked up a second heart. We should fill it with color. And begin converting that color over here to Nympha. It's very dangerous what I'm about to do. But well, no. Let's fill this heart with more gold. Okay. So, although we don't have enough color, I feel, to grow the trees in the garden, there were trees in the reservation. Much smaller trees. But if they can hold color, and it looks like they're smaller, they might be a more efficient use of the color we have in our Nerva, given that we don't have much. Let's go back to the reservation and grow some trees there.
When your palette is full of a color, any additional Nerva of that color will spill into the void.
You will have a warning that is occurring, and you will get a chance, obviously, out here to immediately try to rectify it if you so desire. I do not believe color transforms from Nympha into Nerva, from your hearts into Nerva, on a one-to-one basis. I think it takes slightly more than that from you.
I sense two hiding here. I can hear them.
Oh, something has happened. We came here probably when we weren't supposed to. I think we're supposed to go back to the garden instead first. But I wanted to come here and spend some of our color. Our azure, emerald, and even a little gold here is what I wanted to spend. It sounds like, though, there are more things here now. I know what's here, which is why I'm looking up. If they're actually here. There. I can see one. Let's make this as quick as we can.
Yes, your path will be like this, and you will give your color drop by drop so others live. But don't you give away too much. Only take. It's too early for you to feed others with your blood.
Looks like there's a tree there. And there's a last one way up top. We're going to try to make it up there. And it looks like we have crystal bats here. They can swoop down to attack you, but I don't think they can swoop up to do so.
Strike it with color. Take a good amount of nerva and strike it.
Oh, sister, don't do that again.
The more color you put into the stroke, the more damage you will do to the enemy. Color feels your will. Come on, fight.
I don't think I want to fight them yet. We don't have a reason to do so, as this is a bit immersion breaking perhaps, but there's a quest to kill them, and we don't have it yet. So until she tells us to actually that we have predators here, which these are, I will not strike them. We can avoid them.
Remember the most important rule. Color is your blood and your life stream. For any of your actions, you pay with a part of your own life. So when you draw yourself a life, there's only one rule that counts. Always. The more color you use, the brighter the result will be.
We're being attacked. I put almost no emerald in that. So that was a real waste, what I did right there. I think we only put like 4 color in. Okay, let's go upstairs. I was panicking given how close those creatures were. What I'm doing now is generally what you want to do. Avoid fighting if you can. You'd rather not spend color to fight. Try instead to avoid fighting and collect the color that you can instead. Okay, let's try this again. You'll note there's a symbol over here which gets filled as you put color into a tree. That's indicating how close to full the tree is with the color you are giving it. Once that fills and begins blinking, you don't have to worry about giving it any more color. Alright, that was a lot more like it. One tree was wasted. Okay, let's go back to the garden. Over here is listed your heart with the littlest amount of color it has in it. We've now taken all the silver out of our heart, and convert it over here to Nerva. We'll go ahead and start converting emerald as well. Hearts convert their color simultaneously, so if you have multiple hearts with colors, you can get all that color over here. You can actually fill multiple hearts, your hearts, with the same color if you're desperate to get more of that color quickly. We could do this and we'll earn twice as much emerald.
The dead sisters talk to me all the time.
I'm going to wait here a little bit longer. I want to have at least 40 emerald, it looks like, for the trees. That's probably good. Okay, 45. You can also take color out of one heart and place it into another from here, rather than dragging it from your lympha instead. Do you see how this says trust over here? Notice that this says defense now that it's in my brush. And this says speed. We'll talk about that in the next video.
Looks like there's only one creature wandering here. Do you hear it?
We can see it. But do we have a quest, sister, in order to kill it yet? We do not. If she doesn't give us this quest soon, we will begin eliminating them, as I believe we are supposed to do so. We could draw the shell glyph to protect us from this, but we can avoid it easily enough, I think. We have enough to do one. Oh, I missed some emerald. We have enough to grow another tree. Let's grow another gold. Actually, well, not quite yet. Casting of spells like that glyph reminds me of Arx Fatalis. Only this game did it significantly better. It's much easier to cast spells in this game than that one. Alright. Let's double check our hearts before we walk into the void to make sure we have color in them. I suppose we will... So we've grown... Wow, we've grown 2 trees of gold. We've also grown some emerald. I would love to get more azure, but it will have to wait. Let's get to the second cycle. And then everyone will stop. My intention is to have a cycle per video, so we'll see the intro for the next cycle.
It feels almost as if color has come into the void. Just a little bit, but still. Something has changed. In the old times, it used to be like this. With each cycle, color came to the chambers of its favorite sisters, until color became angry with us and left forever. But now, could it be that these drops have come for you?
Alright, everyone. And the next cycle begins. So, I hope you guys liked it. We haven't gotten anywhere yet. And by the time assuming I can do this well, when we hit about cycle 6 is when things begin getting very interesting. And by cycle 10 or 11, you'll see us panicking as we're running around trying to collect color from various places. There's a good amount more which is going to happen, and I don't want to ruin any of it. So we'll see more in the future. Actually, yeah, let's stop here. Alright, so we'll stop here. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll hopefully see you in the next one. Take care, everyone.